Heartbroken customers turn out to a popular Escondido restaurant after the owner is nearly killed in a hit and run.
And I'm thinking about her and that I'm always here to support her.
The major piece of evidence investigators have in their search for the driver who ran off.
Plus, allowance may never be the same. How San Diego parents are using an app to teach their children good spending habits before developing bad ones. But right now, for the first time, we're hearing from the witness who upended the entire trial of Navy SEAL Eddie Gallagher by admitting he ultimately killed an ISIS prisoner of war. It's one of many confidential interviews leaked to the New York Times. 10 News reporter Mimi Alcala is live from Naval Base San Diego with more from that interview. Mimi.
And that witness originally said Eddie Gallagher was responsible for that ISIS teen's death. But once he got on the witness stand here at Naval Base San Diego during the trial, he completely changed his story.
Is there any possible way that what he was doing could be interpreted as for medical purposes to help this guy?
No.
There's no way this was anything other than to attack and to kill this person?
No.
The interview footage leaked to the New York Times shows one of Eddie Gallagher's platoon members, Corey Scott, answering questions by NCIS investigators, describing what he says Gallagher did to a wounded ISIS teen fighter.
You say he stabbed him one time, multiple times?
It was probably 2 or 3 times.
Okay.
Just like a stab about right here, just in a few times.
More than a year after the accusations, Gallagher was formally charged with murdering the teen. But in a shocking twist during the trial, Corey Scott switched up his story while on the witness stand, testifying that Gallagher was not responsible for the teen's death.
You didn't say that Chief Gallagher suffocated him, did you?
No.
Well, if Eddie Gallagher didn't kill that guy, who did?
Craig Miller suffocate him?
No.
Did you suffocate him?
Yes.
How?
I held my thumb over his ET tube until he stopped breathing.
That testimony sent a silence through the courtroom, and Gallagher was acquitted of murder. During the trial, his defense attorney said the younger millennial SEALs came up with the story to try to get rid of him because they didn't like his tough, old-school ways. And we heard from Gallagher today, and he said when he first saw those videos, he was surprised and disgusted, but also felt confident because he knew they wouldn't hold up in court. We're live from Naval Base San Diego. Mimi Alcala, 10 News.
And I'm 10 News reporter Adam Rakusin in the Live Center tonight. We're following breaking news right now. An Amber Alert issued out of Garden Grove. You might have heard your cell phone go off just a couple of minutes ago. The California Highway Patrol issuing this Amber Alert. They're searching for 3-year-old Josephine Lujan. They say she was abducted. Her mother considered armed and dangerous. They say Josephine was last seen with her mother this afternoon around 2 p.m. in Garden Grove. They say Christina Lujan should be considered armed and dangerous. Josephine is 3 years old, about 45 pounds. She's got brown hair, brown eyes. She was last seen in a gray long-sleeve shirt with blue jeans and black boots. Again, her mother considered armed and dangerous. If you see either one of these two, you are asked to call 911 immediately. We'll continue to monitor this for any updates, guys.
Adam Rakusin, thanks. Winter storms brought a fresh blanket of snow to our mountains this week. CHP is expecting a busy weekend with families heading up to Mount Laguna to play in that rare low elevation snow. CAL FIRE tweeted out these photos of the crashes they responded to today involving icy roads. CHP reminding drivers who are heading up to the mountains to be prepared. They suggest bringing chains and looking out for black ice if you're driving at night. And the rain may be gone, but the cold is settling in. Jennifer De La Cruz has a look at the chilly temperatures tonight.
Yeah, it's going to be very cold. If you are heading out, you definitely want to grab a jacket. So our temperatures will be much cooler than where they should be for this time of year. 39 degrees tonight in Oceanside, 40s for much of the coastline, and then 30s for Fallbrook, Escondido, Ramona, Alpine, Hamul in the 30s for tonight, 29 in Palomar Mountain, 32 in Julian. So it is the heart of winter. We're actually a little bit warmer than where we were at this time yesterday, by anywhere from 2 to 4 degrees throughout the county, 4 degrees warmer in Escondido, but of course it does still feel chilly. Hour by hour on the coast, temperatures will be in the 40s overnight. Once again, some areas like Oceanside will see cooler temperatures there, but even tomorrow morning, 8 a.m., 48 degrees, so it will be chilly for tomorrow as well. Inland Valleys, 41 degrees by about midnight, and then into the 30s for the very early morning hours. 8 a.m. looking at 39 degrees. So still chilly for tomorrow. And we do have another storm on the way. I'm tracking how much rain and how much more snow we're going to get coming up in your 7-day forecast.
All right, thanks, Jen. Father Joe's Villages will be opening its shelter in downtown for the 3rd day in a row. Father Joe's usually opens the shelter when the temperature drops below 50 or there's a chance of rain. The shelter on 6th Avenue can house up to 134 people, including families. A meal will also be served. And you can follow the weather anytime, anywhere with the free 10 News app. You can access the Pinpoint Doppler and check out our video forecasts.
With more rain on the way, the city is working to fill those potholes left behind by our 2 most recent storms. Crews found a few potholes near 47th Street in Webster and the Mid-City area. Drivers we spoke with say they're bracing for more potholes to open up.
Yes, and it makes it even worse because the streets are basically also, so when the water hits, it sits, and then, you know, like it just tears up the ground. Do here for years also, so that the potholes do affect us when we do drive, especially in the rain.
We checked the city's Get It Done app, and it shows that more than 1,100 potholes have been reported recently. The city says the app is the best way to get a pothole filled. You can track the progress and even get an alert when crews are finished.
New at 6, an Escondido restaurant owner is clinging onto her life after being hit by an SUV. Authorities say the driver is nowhere to be found. 10 News reporter Rena Nakano went to Rosies Cafe, where friends and regulars are praying the owner wakes up.
There's something missing, someone who is supposed to be here, a person whose middle name is the namesake of this cafe. There's plenty of laughter and good food, but
this restaurant without her is empty.
Rosie's Cafe owner Caitlin Rosie Pillsbury isn't at her Escondido shop.
She got in a horrible motorcycle accident.
The San Diego Sheriff's Office says on the evening of December 21st, Pillsbury was riding her motorcycle near the intersection of West Vista Way and North Melrose Drive in Vista. The driver of an SUV hit her head on. Then he abandoned the SUV and Pillsbury and ran off. She's now fighting to stay alive at Palomar Medical Center.
She broke her femur. She has a rod in her tibia. Her right arm got surgery yesterday, and she's still unconscious.
Regulars are showing their support by dining in.
Showing the restaurant love and bringing my family here.
We hope she gets better, and we love you very much, and we need you back down here.
Friends are even cooking and cleaning free of charge, all because they believe Pillsbury will somehow make it.
Here we go.
Earlier this year, she survived the grueling reality makeover show Restaurant Impossible with celebrity chef Robert Irvine. The chef sending his support on social media.
Got the GoFundMe page.
Manager Sandy Nelborski says, just like Rosie the Riveter, Pillsbury does not quit.
Strong women from her whole family, from her mom to grandma to aunts. And Rosie the Riveter was always her inspiration.
She hopes that inspiration helps her to recover so she can return to the place where she belongs.
She's always out here posing like this, you know. Yeah, that this bone has to heal so she can do that.
In Escondido, Rena Nakano, 10 News.
The Sheriff's Office has not yet announced an arrest in this hit-and-run case. For information on how you can support Pillsbury, just head to our website, 10news.com.
Sheriff's deputies say a man wearing a white wig robbed a bank in Fallbrook this afternoon. Deputies say the man, somewhere in his 50s or 60s, walked into the Chase Bank on South Mission Road around 1:30 p.m. and gave a note to the teller demanding cash. He got the cash and then ran off, and he hasn't been found at this point. If you've got any information about this robbery, call the Sheriff's Department or Crime Stoppers.
Border Patrol agents busted a teenager who they say tried to smuggle meth through the Calexico port of entry on Christmas Eve. Agents had the teenager, a U.S. citizen, pass through the port around noon. That's when a canine sniffed out those drugs. Agents ended up finding more than 200 packages of meth hidden inside the doors, seats, and the spare tire. The agents say the meth would have fetched more than $260,000 on the streets.
State regulators want to take a closer look at a funding request to tear down the San Onofre nuclear power plant before deciding whether to approve the request. The UT reports that Southern California Edison, which is the majority owner of the plant, has asked for $461 million in decommission money. The SoCal Edison had hoped to get that approval by January 1st. Now it could take as many as 4 months for regulators to examine the request.